So now, I'm just doing my first stream, so just forgive me. You'll see some things on the screen. I'm trying to do it myself. Yes, there's quite a bit to cover today. So as you can see, there's the Trump thingy, there's Diddy, and then I'll talk about if you really want to do like independent filmmaking. Gonna listen to gentleman here who's been in Hollywood for a while, just to give you an idea what kind of economic opportunity exists in there. So just hold on. I'm not even sure if it's gone out. It's stop streaming. Stop. Feels alright. Okay, it's showing it's streaming there. It's showing it's streaming there. Let's see where it is streaming. Streaming. It's not scheduled. It should be live. Like, should be live right now. Should be live. Live. So it's on. Okay, I'm trying to update. This is still something I'm learning. To see how that goes. It's telling me I have my keyframe frequency. All right. Okay, so it seems. Have I come through my internet? Oh my god, Zuku acheni hizo. Okay, so imeingia hapa pia, go live. Let's see. Let us see. All right, let me just go on. Let me just get it done. Then we can do the other things later to see whether. Yeah, so karibu sana to my first live stream. I'll be doing this every Friday at 8 p.m. East African time. So basically, these live streams are normally to either discuss further things I've talked about over the week or things that have happened over the week that I haven't taken note of or not talked about. So obviously, the leading story this week has been P. Diddy getting arrested. I think most people did anticipate this because first when he paid off the chick, what's her name? Cassie, yeah. Once he paid her off quickly in a day, real fast, I knew this person was in trouble. And then it's come out that he's done. So I did a video, so you can check it on my channel about the allegations and what they found. For me, the strangest thing was their 1,000 bottles of baby oil or lube. I don't think they're big days, but 1,000 bottles. Like, just think about what that means. But for now, we are going to watch what one of his bodyguards, Gene Deal, he's been saying these things for a while. Like, he's been really trying to expose this guy, but right now is when he's become really relevant. Tunaona kama video kama hii kwa The Art of Dialogue has 872,000 views. So let's go. So you can see here, this is my things I watch. AFTV, of course, Arsenal. Now watching my dance zangu, and I watch a lot of things. Joe Biden, Melanie King, all these people that commentate on things. So I watch a wide variety of people, foreigners, a lot of them, Americans. I watch some Kenyan content, but it's not hainibambi sana. Unajua hapa Kenya maze tuko na ufala mimi, so napenda hii. What? So let's listen to Gene Deal. What his thinking is behind the arrest. But kwanza let me check your stream kama inaendelea. Oh, inaendelea kabisa. Let's go. Also, I'll be this is
Gene Deal. Let's get right into it. Diddy, he got indicted. You called it, man. A few weeks ago, you was on the platform and you said that he was going to get arrested in September.
Yeah, man. Anybody who in law enforcement or people know the law, when Homeland Security ran up into his house, people will tell you, or people knew that it was just a matter of time that they was going to indict him and bring him in to see the judge, bro. It was just a matter of time.
But think about it. Apparently the guy records everything that happens in that house, especially these parties, these freak-offs. So he's had so many celebs in there, pastors. Have you ever been swallowed? The TD Jakes, they were mentioned. Different celebrities, actors, politicians, media moguls, businessmen. A lot of people have been through this. So it seems to me, at least, that this is just a window, as I'd mentioned here. This is just a window towards those people. There is a movement now towards trying to expose a lot of these things, although for years they never did. But there is other reasons why. So let's see if we'll get anything from
I just figured out with the grand jury and their different sessions and stuff like that. And then what one of the witnesses told me, I just figured it out that it was going to be around September that they were going to bring them in, bro. People might not understand. It's difficult when you see a brother that has so much promise become an icon as far as in the music business and stuff that he did, to turn around and just tear his whole life down. But it's all because of his mentors and the people that trained him and taught him the music business.
Okay, let's first just think of what he said. He said there are people who groomed him to be the person he is now. Well, we've heard for years or decades, that to get into this industry in America, because it's so powerful, there's so much money and whatnot, there are gatekeepers. So please ignore the noise, the neighbors and whatnot. There are gatekeepers that you will have to pass through to get to what you want. And a lot of these gatekeepers, as it seems, they are making people do some PE. So it's not just you come and you get in and whatnot. But I disagree with him a lot, because he is saying he did those things because of the mentors. Yes, somebody can mislead you or what, but there are a lot of these things they are claiming he's doing or he has done. Not everybody did. So there are a lot of these people around this trying to be told, hey, shika finini, suck something, whatever. They're being told all these things. But they didn't all do it. So personal responsibility is being taken from him by this guy. Maybe he likes him or something or what. Although I don't know. At the same time, he speaks through both of the sides of his mouth sometimes. So I don't know. But it's not them. They gave him the opportunity and they said, you need to do this to get this opportunity. And he made the decision to do that. So it lays with him. All those other people, they have their issues. They should also be blamed accordingly and followed accordingly. So I'm thinking this P. Diddy is now the window to those people that groomed him. I don't believe so, because he was already an adult, so he wasn't groomed. He did a lot of these things willingly because there was so much to gain from it. So yeah, so Mr. Gene Deal, no, it's the mentors, they gave him the opportunity to do that to people, and he took the opportunity.
You know, it's all about the people who trained and taught him the music business, because Puff wasn't, he wasn't born a monster.
Who said? You see, this is the thing I've always heard, that people are born with that. There's no clean slate. Some people are born with deficiencies, or what they're exposed to. Of course, there's the nurture part, but there are some people who are natural, like to go to the extent that this guy from the what we are hearing, what this guy has been doing, man. There's absolutely no way you can think, oh, okay, because some people are just evil. You know what happened to that? You don't need a mental illness. You're just an asshole. Some people are just like that. So let's not try to build excuses for somebody who's abused so many people, crushed so many people's dreams, destroyed people's mental and physical well-being. There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of threats. There's a lot of blackmail. There's all these things, drugs. Who pimp ship. Like, come on now. Calm
You
down.
know what I'm saying? He was made into a monster. bro.
No, he was a monster. He just joined his fellow monsters.
I'm saying he was made into a monster from the stuff that happened to him, the things that he had to do. You understand?
So if he decided to show the Lord, if he decided to, nyonya something, if he decided to do all those things, he decided as a grown-up. It's very different for me, especially when it's underage. They're being made to do things, which he actually did. The Justin Biebers, the Usher, the what, when they came in, he's the guy who's chaperoning these toys at the time. And a lot of disturbing news is coming out like, hey, a lot of these guys, but for me, that's the most heartbreaking thing, because a lot of these artists, then you grow up admiring them. These media moguls, these entertainment moguls, you're like, yeah, man, I want to do business like these people. And then you get someone and you realize this is not business. This is cartel. Like, people have to humiliate you to get anything. Like, I don't understand why that's the way. Because, like, I've realized, actually, if you look at a lot of the artists, so there's an explanation to why so many artists fell off. Like, you find some artists are dope and like they are big, they fell off. Others are on drugs, others just disappear into nothingness, others just go independent. Especially ukiona wengi independent ni watu walikataa kupigwa stick. Many of them refused to be fucked, so they went independent. So, but you realize the industry and its machinery pulled the support from them, so they had to do everything for themselves. The good thing is the internet also became so powerful, and social media. So a lot of these people became irrelevant, the Diddys and whatnot. You could create your own thing, although even after the internet, their artists will become popular online. Then they show them this flashy lifestyle. They don't even think long term. They just join in, do these things, regret. Then you see them, they're drug users everywhere. They live the worst lifestyles. They're dressing up like women, painting their nails. They're doing the weirdest thing to their kids, changing they're forcing them to change their sexes. Okay, they can't change the sex. They do all those things. You transgender everything. So all this thing is in one basket. When you're thinking about it, think about it more holistically. It's not just one thing or one industry. It is whole. You cannot movies. If you go to big business, there's a lot of all these humiliation rituals that people have to do to get access. Luckily, these days you can create your own market and your own audience that you can build. And as long as you're patient and hardworking, you can build and make some money. So we'll talk more about how Kenya guys do that. Lakini sisi in corruption sana.
The things that he had to do to become who he is, you know what I'm saying? It's like this, brother. You never like something so much that you can't do without, and you never be willing to do anything to get where you want to be at.
But people are doing it.
You gotta have principles, you gotta have morals, you gotta keep with that stuff.
Kind of hoarding our women are doing in Dubai.
Business, a lot of that stuff get thrown out the window. You understand? And that's what happened to him. He started doing the things to other people that was done to him. To keep it frank, he was doing the things to other people that was done to him. And it is what it is. You gotta know better. And if
but
you know
he's
better,
responsible for what
better.
he did. They are
When he was in
responsible
New
for
York
what they
City,
did to him.
He was like
Two things can be true at the same time.
Gecko from the Geico commercial. Then he turned and started going, when he lived in Cali and Miami, he turned into Godzilla. I would see him talk about how he using drugs. He was never like that. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed and everything like that. He turned into something that you could consider a monster, bruh. Then he started doing things to people, you understand, that he learned. That's a learned behavior,
But he wanted to learn.
Now, I'm not saying that he may have been doing a couple of things here and there with women, stuff like that in New York, but the things that there's talking about that he was doing, bringing in prostitutes.
But they forget what he's doing to like this. What I was telling you about, he's doing to men mostly, and young boys. But there's the level of chicks now, the women. All his women, like his Kim, his wife, died under mysterious circumstances before releasing a book, Tell All book, which now is all these things we are seeing here now. Then Cassie was, I think, girlfriend or something. So these two women, at least those two close women, they were beaten thoroughly, among other things. And I feel like he's hiring male prostitutes to cooler his mamas, and he's there to watch while he pleasures himself. Like I'm telling you, this is one person in this industry that we look up to so much. A lot of them in this industry are like that. Tulisikia hata hiyo time sijui Diamond alienda huko, alikuwa anangojea P Diddy. Bado watu wanauliza maswali kama P Diddy alimfanyisha lichuo
to have sex with his girl and all that stuff like that. That was some crazy stuff to me, man. So I'm just looking at this whole thing, man, and you had asked me,
me check something while
we don't
watching.
have these conversations like most people do. We're going to go back and you're going to tell me what, we're going to talk about this. You said, I'm going to ask you how you feel, bro. I don't want no man to ever go to jail and be leaving their kids behind, be leaving their family behind. You understand? But some dudes belong in jail based on what they do.
He does.
And how they do it. We know that to be true. And it's just this situation, man, when they get down to all the facts and all what happened, he may belong in jail, bro.
You know, right?
And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him.
Stop going back to that.
You
Just
realize,
now,
man,
place the blame on the man's
learned
shoulders.
From Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis.
But all these guys, they had some weird proclivities at the time, man. Like Russell Simmons was just a straight up weird. I think his wife was at the time was even underage, or it started with her when she was underage or something. Whatever the case, I can't remember the details, but he was always weird, this Russell Simmons fellow. And then all these other guys. You know, there are black people who've been put in positions, but you realize, that's the time you realize, you're black or these celebs. It's not about that. It's about the class and the money. You think black billionaires and millionaires are calling each other racist things when they meet with white billionaires and whichever millionaires? This is a poor people game here, kuziwa racism identities, while guys over here are making billions and millions. So when you try to get in here, they humiliate you to make sure they have everything on you. So that even if you are there, you've made some success, man. The weight you're carrying, man, I don't... Oh, man, like there's some audios I've listened to, like for McMill. Hey, how do people just do... I mean, I know money is... I mean, guys do a lot of strange things for money, but god damn.
You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's going to make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then.
But you see, they've always gotten away with Harvey Weinstein. He got away with it until he became politically expedient. P. Diddy, I believe, is reached the end of his line. R. Kelly, after the peeing video came out decades ago. It's until last year that the year before, that the guy was recorded inside. So they know these people, they have the evidence, but they're keeping them in front of us, praising them and whatnot. Well, the kinds of things they are doing and they've done are some of the most vile things you've ever heard of. Like it's some of the things I've heard, like some of these guys sent up to videos they're bringing out. Like I'm seeing, was it Justin Timberlake? It was like sucking off someone in a club. It's like it was either Trey Songs or one of those boys. It's a weird thing. I'm telling you. I've seen those things that, some of those you watch one and you're like, oh, I need some weeks to. Oh, Jesus Christ.
The things that he was saying, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that.
Hey, hiyo time wakina Lil Wayne na sijui Bird, man, walikuwa nakisiana kwa mdomo. They're trying to normalize it. Kumbe. You see, everything was happening before our eyes. But if you're not keen, my goodness.
He learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons, and he had a house, and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it from them.
What if birds of a feather flock together, Mr. Gene Deal? What if he's just that kind of person and that's why that attracted him so easily? And for him to push it to that level is actually the thing that he likes. What if that's the case?
And I'm not going to say alleged because I saw that for my own self. My man was with me, Slick was with me, and we saw that for our own self. You understand what I'm saying? So these are behaviors and things that with drugs and all the stuff that's going on, pills, drinking, it can make this man into a monster.
Like this
and that's what it did,
these are rare things in the industry. No, come on.
It made him into a monster, bro.
No, these things people have always done, like even the rock stars and the cocaine and whatnot.
And then he probably did it to the 10th power. You understand?
Because he liked it.
That he was a drug abuser.
He's a person like that.
You understand? Russell Simmons admitted that he used to put his hands on women. So.
And kids.
It's a learned behavior, bro. Some of that stuff may be in him through his childhood.
Oh, he's coming around. Sorry, I don't watch this.
He may have some
he's
of that
coming
things
around
in him,
to.
But a lot of things that he was doing was a learned behavior, bro. You just don't just turn it in a matter of years.
You see how difficult, these guys have seen this. You see how difficult it is for them to accept, like, hey, how can a guy do such things? You see, like, I've been around some people who have the propensity to do such things. Matendapreneur, you go for one of these parties of theirs. You'll always see it's a weird. After a while, after they've gotten loose, they start shikanaing nini, kissing over there in the kitchen. They go over there. They just become loose. And these are people out here, if you're told, wamevaa masuti, wameukalia kwa TV, wanasema social media kwa hapo. But people are down low over here, especially the rich people who've not earned the money correctly. They usually push it to the extreme. Huyu ni mmoja wao.
The way he was doing people, man. You understand? Check this out, bro.
Sema.
He led Biggs to his death.
Yep.
He caused a rift between.
And that's the thing. Biggie Smalls, Tupac. This guy is like under all these things. The fact that most people knew that this guy had actually set up Biggie Smalls and later Tupac. Was it? No, the other way around. He'd set up all these people. Because the thing is, if the powers that be have a guy like this, so they just say, do this. They already have videos of him doing all kinds of crazy things. He just does it. So artists like Tupac, Biggie, some of the best that have ever done it, quickly, like that. Because of this one guy, the least talented guy, but the guy with the worst heart. And who's willing to go to the very extreme to get whatever he wants. And what he wants is not just normal money, a nice car, house, the beautiful woman there, or 2 or 3. No. He wants to control everyone. He wants to abuse everyone. This guy was sick from the... That's why I mean, this nurture maybe a bit, but it was in him to be this kind of person. Ndio kwa sababu Mess, by the way, wakina Mess ran away from him very fast. And Mess disses him on his podcast a lot.
Wolf and BMF.
Yes.
That led to Wolf death. Cuss Wolf mother out. Lied about owing him $300,000. because you had asked me how I feel, and I'm gonna get into how I feel. Took a good friend of ours who raised money when he had the City College tragedy. A good friend of ours did things to make him popular in Harlem. Let him hang with us, be part of our crew the whole 9 yards. Disrespected him and wouldn't help him. This is how I feel about him.
This guy is just remembering.
Going to jail.
People remember. He's remembering the things he saw in those
Some people, their karma is so strong for what they do and what they did. The stuff that he did to Craig Mack.
Craig Mack, that's one of the artists I was saying, like, you know, Craig Mack, like Chomoka with Paka Grammy, everything. Then the next moment he's not there because Diddy totally screwed him over. I've heard the story about what he did, but it's a long story. So, but that's one of the artists I was telling you about. The stuff that he did to
Black Rob and all those people in the spiritual world right now. His karma was...
And it's because also a lot of the people that he really messed up at his peak, you know, a lot of them have died, or they're, you know, they just moved on and they don't care. That's why I think a lot of these things are also started coming up. You know, sometimes when something happens, even us here, you start hearing things when people make some money.
To catch up. It was bound to catch up with him. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
His karma was bound to catch up with him, brother. So all these things that's going on right now, the learned behavior, what he got from these
come on, stop it with the learned behavior.
Not living spiritually correct with their behaviors and the things that they've done. He go and transfer and do that to people with the fact of all these people that he's hurt, that always helped him and been on his side and been there for him. What's happening to him now is one of the greatest tragedies that we're gonna ever read about, bro.
No, I think a lot of what, if you go like search for Gene Deal and many other people that are actually used to work for him or whatnot, who are now coming out, they seem to be brave now. They seem that threat they were under has been lifted, or at least they've been given the incentive to come out and say what happened during that time. But let's move on swiftly. Takuongea juu ya Orange Man. I normally follow some channels like the one I'm going to review about Donald Trump. So this is a black American who supports Donald Trump now, because as far as he's concerned, because this is not one of those videos where I'm trying to be fair or what, I'm just going to try to be honest. Well, I guess that's being fair. So it's about, because I always hear a lot of noise about this guy, this Donald Trump, but he's at least been in my consciousness for 30 years at least. For a while, you know, in the media, singing with all these people. In fact, let me show you something of Oprah Winfrey, just back in the day, talking to Trump, and because he sounds the same then as he sounds now, so that's why it's so strange. And the way they were gushing over him, there's videos of that, but I'm going to just show you this one first for Oprah, so that we have an understanding. For me, I don't really care what you think of the man, because I know most of you have just watched his mainstream media, so you have Trump derangement syndrome. You can't be reasoned with because you are so dumb, but you can't follow through with doing your own research and listening to other people. That's why for me, I was looking, where are these people that support Trump, black, and say, no, black people don't like Trump. They've been giving him awards since the 70s. The rappers have been rapping about him for decades, wanting to be him, or at least have his influence or live his life. He has awards, I'm telling you, if you bother, you will find. But most of you don't. Anyway, let me just show you this thing for, where is it? No, this is Umar. Listen to this. Let's start with this one.
You're criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And, hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not. But I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country.
Actually, I'd said if he has to run, he has to run as a Republican, because getting into the Democrat ticket was impossible. He knew, like, this is not rocket science. So some of you are not really that well. So I'm informing you.
How we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I think that probably George Bush has an advantage in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one.
He is bigging up Jesse Jackson, the black guy. It's apparently he's racist, right? This is 1988, he's bigging up Jesse Jackson. He actually also used to help Jesse Jackson with the buildings, offices, and Vitukama Iso and the organizations.
One hell of a job. And George Bush.
It's weird how people can turn on you, you know. Like, if there's a bigger pile, a bigger piece of cake somewhere, people turn on you. Like
Bush has done a hell of a job. You know, they all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined. I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't.
The narrative has been the same since 1988. That's why you guys, you don't know anything. But this is just to guzia. So now, let me go to this guy. It's called Anton Daniels. I like his channel. I like the way he does things. Very honest. But at least I've followed him for about 4 years. He's really like consistent, and you know, and he shows how he earns his wealth and all those things. So it is really one of those people whose opinion I trust, because it's not laced with a lot of nonsense. So when I found him really pushing through, first of all, I was in agreement with him, because there is this idea of this identity politics. You're saying, me, I don't follow people on skin color. You're saying he follows people on character, just like it should be. But because so many people have been tribalized, it becomes difficult. So right now, for example, he's totally against them using the black card to try and get Kamala Harris elected. So he's been really against